Is it time to get funky?
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show.
It's the Retrogames show.
Because it looks a bit like a mushroom. Oh yes!
The Retrogames show.
Hello, yes, hello. It is me. It is Jace at Retrogames. Yeah, Jace at Retrogames. That's who I am. It's Jace at Retrogames. Yes, the first ever retro gamer. I was here first. That's the reason you should watch this. I am the first one. Yes, retro gamer since 1995. Space 1999. 1999. That's not bad, is it? I'll buy that DVD box set. No, it's called Space 1999. It's not 1999. It's 24.99. That'd be an altogether different show set in 24.99. Wow. Yeah, hello, welcome to the show. It's another week. I hope you enjoyed last week's show. I think you did. Are you ready for another show? What's happened this week? Well, not a lot. I've been busy, always busy here. It's always busy. We get loads of stuff coming in, we sort it out, we list it on the site, and you guys buy it. Yeah! And it works, and we're carrying on, and we don't stop. And so, yeah, it's just a life full of stuff, and to all our friends and regulars, you know, that's what this show's about. I talk to you about the stuff you talk about, and then I show you the latest stuff that's here at the retrogames.co.uk website. Oh, a little bit of a ramble there for anyone who's new, who hasn't turned off already. I mean, I would have turned off by now. I'm thinking, who the hell is that guy? Who does he think he is? I know what you're thinking. Where's the sheets, Jace? You got the sheets. I've got the sheets, but I think I'm feeling better now. Never get bored of that one. Now, I've got the sheets. Before I put the runners and riders up, I got a couple of emails that I thought I would share on the show. Because, okay, I talk about the comments. A lot of people like the comments bit of the show, the front end. It's the front end of the show. We used to have features, haven't done features for a while, but I've got some features burning in my brain. They might be coming soon. Maybe for Easter, let's see. But anyway, I had a couple of nice emails. I thought these are worth sharing with the show. So the first one is from a good customer, friend of ours, Andreas Wittek. I think he was in Germany. I think he's in Germany. He bought off of us. I don't know if you remember, showed you on the show. It was a non-working PC Engine GT. Here's a picture of it. Yeah, beautiful, lovely condition, but not working, sadly. Well, the good news, the good news. This is his email. Just a little update about the PC Engine GT. It's back alive! Yes! It has had it's had the kiss of life off of Andreas. He had to put a different speaker in it. The speaker was broken. So he took the Game Gear speaker. It's a little bit of a hybrid now. It's got a Game Gear speaker, but it's got a beautiful, better quality, new LCD screen. And he sent us some photos of how it looks opened up, fixed, and now it's all done. So check out the photos. Yes! Isn't that lovely? It's nice, isn't it? We also sold the PC Engine LT that didn't work. And I know he was working on that, so I'm hoping, that went to Italy, I'm hoping he's managed to get that working too. So I'll look him up and I'll write to him and see if I can get some photos of that too, because it's so lovely when we see these beautiful old consoles back to life. It's like the Soul to Soul song, back to life, back to... Anyway, stop it, Jace. Stop it. Calm yourself down. It's just a normal Friday. Relax. Relax into it. This is not all about me. Okay, I've calmed down. Anyway, I had another really interesting email this week. And this was from a regular customer for ours. We haven't heard back for a while. It's from Vladimir in the Ukraine. Now, I thought this is interesting because we all have this idea of how it is in Ukraine. Vladimir wanted to place a new order for Mega Drive stuff, and unfortunately we cannot send stuff at the moment to Ukraine. Royal Mail have blocked all the parcels going out, which is a shame. But I was absolutely thrilled that he's excited and wants to place a new order for Mega Drive games in a war-torn country. Isn't that strange? I just thought I'd bring his out. I was just chewing the fat, and a couple of emails went past. Hello, dear Jason. Thank you for your concern. We are fine. Sometimes it's scary, but we do not lose heart. I live in Kyiv, we know how to say it properly now, and it's quiet here now, except for the rockets and drones. I mean, we just don't know, Vladimir, what it must be like to be living with rockets and drones. We imagine, I mean, as gamers, we're surrounded by rockets and drones for most of our gaming lives. Anyway, he says, my parents, they live in Donetsk, and the situation there is really, really sad. But we don't give up. Thank you very much for your support. We will win anyway. Yes. And we do support Ukraine, of course. It's a pity that you can't ship, as you have so many cool cartridges at the moment. I was overjoyed. I love Sega so much and usually finish all the games on all difficulties with all bonuses. All right, show off. We can only give you so much leeway. You can't finish every game you buy, surely. Somehow I abandoned the whole thing, but now my son's almost 6, I decided to spend more time with him in this way. I try and collect cartridges in excellent condition, so maybe one day we will find it possible to buy from you again. Oh, isn't that lovely? Wish you all the best, sincerely, Vladimir, and we wish you all the best too. Isn't it amazing? We have a retro gamer stuck in Ukraine. I mean, we actually had quite a few quite regular Ukrainian customers before the invasion. And I worry about that's the first guy I have heard from since the war started in Ukraine. So it's lovely to hear from you, Vladimir, and I'm sure I'm not the only one saying all us gamers unite behind you, and we really hope you can start collecting and playing these old games again soon. So yeah, time for the runners and riders. This week's list, I'm going to be correct this time. It's that side, isn't it? It's that side. Stop mucking about. Here they are. Yay! Okay, 21 this week. We're up a little bit from last week's show. I thought last week's show was a little bit boring. Was it just a little bit more boring than normal? I don't know. When I finished editing, I thought it's a little bit more boring, isn't it? Are we getting tired of this show yet? Has it run out of steam? Is it past its sell-by date already? Episode 16, the official numbers. It's actually about 22 probably. So I don't know. Jury's out, but you know, you guys who comment seem to be still keen. But if you feel like this is starting to ease off, it's starting to, you know, the novelty's worn off, mate. We've had enough of you. Git. Anyway, let's go to the notes. Sorry, just rambling again. Lots of stuff to ramble about. 21 comments. I'm going to skip through some of these though, because we had a bit of, oh, I'm not sure about the comments bit. The comment goes on too long. Yeah, okay. And I'm taking that on board, and I'm going to try and be more concise. But don't worry, we're still going to carry on with the comments. It's become an integral part of the show. Integral, remember that. One is Jabobly Rob. And he asked, because we brought up Catch the Pigeon or Stop the Pigeon last week, the Dastardly and Muttley Hanna-Barbera cartoon, which we like very much. And he said, was there ever a game of it? Well, I did a little bit of research. Oh yeah, on your behalf, Jabobly Rob. In 2007, there was meant to be a Stop the Pigeon game. It was going to be released on the PlayStation 2 in 2007, but it never got released. It's a lost game. There is artwork for it, but it never came out. Isn't that sad? So somewhere, in some hard drive somewhere, there will be some code. There will be something, because these games, they just get the plug pulled. There's a history of games having the plug pulled, and it just so happens you struck on one there, Jabobly Rob. Isn't that sad? 2, Richard Cooper. He's in Australia. Number 3, I told you I'm going quick. Not More Games with Nick Berry is back. He liked the GX4000 cases. Do you remember I opened the cases and the little willy pops up in the middle? It's the cartridge, but it's red topped. Why do they make them cartridges red topped? It's a bit rude. He said it reminded him of them tourist key rings that you get in Spain when he was on holiday and he was a kid, and your mum would always cross if you tried to buy one, where you squeeze the bottom and then a little willy pops out. I'm being rude. Yeah, but you know, exactly. That's what they make me think of as well. So I'm with you. Number 4, no. Gull Payne. I checked out his site. He's in Ireland. Lots of Irish contingencies growing for the show. Welcome on board. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining in for the crack. See, I am multicultural. I really am. I am. Number 5, Justin. Get me out of this. Justin Wormington. He used to play. He loves Bubble Bobble. We covered Bubble Bobble. We actually showed 2 versions last week. We showed it on the NES and we showed it on the Spectrum. And he said he used to play Bubble Bobble in his sleep. And this reminds me, you do sometimes. You play a game a lot. For me, it's Advance Wars on the DS. And the Game Boy Advance, playing Advance Wars, and then I'd lay in bed and I'm picturing the map and I am moving my piece. I've got my rockets in the right place. And before you know it, I can't sleep at all. My brain is frazzled. That is a technical term. It's got nothing to do with crisps. And my brain is frazzled and I can't get to sleep. And I go, yeah, you play Bubble Bobble. You play a game long enough and it ingrains itself. It's like when you leave the TV on so long. I remember when my kids were little, we'd have CBeebies on all day and the little logo in the corner where it's burnt itself into the screen. So whatever you're watching, it looks like it's on CBeebies because the little logo's in the corner. And that's what games do to me. They embed, they drill themselves into my mind's eye and I cannot shake them out. Classically, GoldenEye was the one I'd be dreaming about, just taking people out in, in Sainsbury's, just like, you know, lurking and jumping around the aisles and taking people out with my little PPK. I don't know why, but some games, they really did grab me, and obviously did to Justin as well. Number 6 now. 6, I don't get this. Roller X Core. New, I think it's new. He said he wants more Konami Hyperboy coverage.
Konami Hyperboy, Konami Hyperboy, Konami Hyperboy.
Konami Hyperboy. Didn't think I'd be using that anymore. We already covered the Konami. That was an individual video, wasn't it? The Konami Hyperboy. So we've already done that. We're not going to be covering it. There's not much more to cover. It's a Game Boy shell. It's a lovely thing, but you know, we covered it. Done. And then he said this comment. I just did not understand it. You know, when sometimes people write in the comments and you think, well, it must be a reference to the show. It must be a reference to me. It must be something to do with my face. I just could not suss it. His comment is, and see if I understand it, this chip I have is massive. Now I'm thinking chip on the shoulder. Do you think that's me? Me, I've got a massive chip on my shoulder. Like, oh yeah, first retro gamer. Yeah, oh yeah, thinks he's the bee's knees. I absolutely am the bee's knees, and I am the first retro gamer. Nobody's contesting it. Everyone agrees. Jace, when I go, it'll be on my gravestone. This was the first retro gamer, Jace. So nobody's contesting it. If that's what that comment meant about the chip, then yeah, I'm keeping hold of that chip because I love chips. I absolutely love chips. I actually went to the seaside at the weekend. I did pop out on Sunday. I was in Whitby, and there's a retro arcade. The top floor of their arcade there, they've changed it into a retro arcade, and there was loads of old coin-ops in there, and there was like Donkey Kong, and there was Defender, original machines, original Pac-Man, Space Invaders. And I thought, wow, I really should be filming this for the show, but I didn't. I know. 7, Steve Holloway. Now, last week he told us his son is out. A fan. He loves the tunes. He loves this quirky fat bloke who rambles to his dad every week. And I said I'm gonna put a shout out. So Oakley, who is 7. Thank you for watching the show. Oakley, you are officially our youngest viewer. I think. We'll see if anyone's younger, or if you've got any other 7. We could have like a little retro gang of all the dad's kids. You know, maybe it's time for the photos. Send in the photos of your kids, guys. Let's put the photos up. Let's get them kids involved. They'll remember the thing. I remember my dad. He loved old games. Yeah, he loves old games. It will stick with him. I remember that fat bloke on the telly. He said my name. I know, it's really special, isn't it? Number 8, Retro Ed. Retro Ed is back. He's not avoiding the show. He's still watching the show. He just doesn't comment every week, and that's fine. Last week I did lay into a rival show out of sheer jealousy. retro recipe. And funny actually, because the little clip I put in of the retro recipe show onto our show, if you hover on our video, it just shows the bit from retro recipe, so it looks like it's a retro recipe video, like episode 15 is one of their shows. And I like to think that's why it's got a lot lower viewers than usual weeks. Because people are confused, thinking, no, I don't want to watch retro recipe. No, it wasn't. It was me, but just showing some of their show. Anyway, he says he doesn't think people are tuning into retro recipe for Clark Kent. I think he's saying because it's the female. It's his wife or girlfriend or whatever she is who co-hosts with him. I think that's why people are tuning in, and because we are sad men. Most apart from the lovely ladies in our gang, Retro Claire, Wondrous Jaguar, but sad men. Just we'll watch this retro show because it's got a lady on it. Oh yeah, it's got a lady in her 30s. I'm going to watch it. Isn't that sad? Isn't that, because I could get my viewing figures. I just need a lady. I just need a lady on the show. There must be something I can do. I just need a lady hanging out in the background. Our figures will skyrocket. Oh, not you. Oh, Maria Whittaker. Any excuse. She's back on the show. Carry on. Someone new. Number 9. Chanith. Strange name. Chanith. One more time. Chanith. Liked the retro gaming catalogues, and I do have a habit of every time I open a game when we're doing the games bit, if I find a catalogue, we have a little look through the catalogue. That's because some gaming catalogues have unreleased things in there. There's a classic 1988 Ocean catalogue, I've shown it on the show, where it's got some unreleased games. Like they've got all the artwork and even screenshots, but the games never came out, lost, missing in action. So, you know, it's exciting. I do like looking through, and I love the Atari VCS has always got those lovely little booklets in there, all the shows. The Activision ones for Atari games, the ColecoVision one was in pretty much every single ColecoVision game. It sort of stretches out like a big gaming accordion with all the, you know, all the official cartridges on it. They're just lovely things. I do love paraphernalia. Yeah, gaming paraphernalia, and those catalogues, they are good. And he says we should do a bit of a special on them. I would do if I had a load of them to hand. It's a good idea, but I think I'll just cover them as I go. Every catalogue I see, I shall put it on. Number 10, PJ Venom. He's getting his own tone. It's your tone now, PJ Venom. I don't know why. He's in Ireland too. He's another member of the Irish contingent. Yes! Yeah. I don't know what. I guess it might be booming now, retro gaming in Ireland. I mean, retro gaming is huge in Scotland. It's huge it's huge in Scandinavia. It's like, you know, generally places where it's quite wet and cold. Now you'll find retro game. Lift up the rocks. There's a retro gamer. Anyway, he said he's okay. I said you could watch the show as a hangover cure after your some Patrick's Day shenanigans. But he said he'd no longer have hangover. He didn't have a hangover. He didn't have a hangover. And this is his expression. I love this Irish. I love Irish. I wish I could do an Irish accent because I love the Irish accent. I love all regional accents, but the Irish one is a beautiful, beautiful sound. And he said he's been off the old gargle for 4 years. Isn't that right? Off the old gargle. It doesn't sound right. I'm saying almost off the old gargle. Cornish. No, that doesn't work. 11, 8-bit boy UK. He just asked a question, and he asked, what was the last, because we covered a lot of Master System, he likes Master System, what's the last Master System game I've played? Well, I'll tell you, it's Alex Kidd, because every Master System I test, it's got inbuilt Alex Kidd, so I had to play Alex Kidd. I've had enough of Alex Kidd. It's a relief when there's one with Sonic built in. Moving on, 12, Jug McKenzie. Yeah, Jug McKenzie, isn't that Jug? Isn't that a brilliant name? It's like you need to be in a skiffle band if you've got a name like Jug McKenzie. He also completed Bubble Bobble. He's covered loads of stuff. He's covered he's finished Fist 2. He's finished Mercenary. He's finished Druid, and that's a good game, isn't it? It's a gauntlet style game. I remember that very much with fond memories. And he says, can you imagine a millennial, i.e. someone a lot younger than us, completing those games? Those games are far more challenging. You know, no saves, no passwords, no, you know, you've got to carry on, got to do the whole thing in one sitting, or you've got to. Yet, would they have the patience to do it now? If those games came out now. Would young people be bothered to finish them? And it's a good point. Maybe that's part of being a retro gamer. We are endowed with patience. We will endure. We will sacrifice. We will work hard to get to the end. I say that, I wouldn't do it now. I know last time I finished a Spectrum game was probably about 1989. And there's a lot of water gone under the bridge since then. But yeah, you make a good point. We are very patient as retro gamers, and possibly new. I can't imagine anyone finishing Manic Miner now, unless it's like some sort of challenge for charity or something, or you know, they're pressured into it by an older person. I can't imagine a young person doing that for fun. 13, Rusty Bucket. Rusty's back. He says comments have got to stay. Don't get rid of the comments. I didn't. I'm reading them. He says they are the integrity of the show. I think that's the right sort of sentence there. Let's say the backbone of the show. They're the backbone. Well, they're the first bit. They're the first bit. Can you imagine? No. No, I've gone back. I went back to the last comment. Can you imagine a millennial having patience? No. He says, firstly, what is the cut-off retro machine for me? Where does retro stop and current start? And I've been thinking about this, and I think PS3. I think PS3 is retro. PS4 is not. Well, there's still released versions of PS5 games for PS4. So, yeah, PS4 is still current. The Switch, not retro at all, no. PS3, 3DS, just about. 3DS is retro now, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, just about. 3DS is retro. Wii U on the Nintendo, retro. Yeah, Wii U, yeah, it is. It's only just kind of got there, because I know it's been around for a while and people have been snapping it up. I'd say Wii U is only really feeling like retro now. They closed the stores this week, didn't they? They closed the digital 3DS store and the Wii U store. You can now no longer download content onto those consoles from the clouds. From the clouds, so you have to buy the disc. That makes it feel even more retro, don't it? If they discontinued the eShops, then surely it's retro. PlayStation 3, I don't know. Can you still buy stuff online on PS3? I need to check that out. Maybe you can. Sony a bit more patient. Not so harsh. 14, it's our old mate James.
Konnichiwa, everybody.
Konnichiwa to you, James. He's very pro the comment section. Don't get rid of the comment section. It's just a bit of a laugh. Finding out about what other people think. Finding out about what other people don't like. What they, you know, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun. And sometimes we get some great stories this way. So it's a good way of reminiscing. The Mrs. Reminisces. I can't stop it. He said, I got to the end bit, and this is a good point. I ended the show last week on Thunderblade on the Spectrum while reading out the back of the box, because the back of the box just sounded a little bit over the top. But funnily enough, and he agrees, I agree with him now, Thunderblade looked blimmin' good on the Spectrum. Yeah! It looked really good. It had sprite scaling and all sorts, and different game modes, and graphically it looked pretty amazing. Pushing the Spectrum pretty far. So, in hindsight, some of them comments were pretty on point at the time. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one, James. 15, Retrogames Revived. That's Sean, isn't it? Sean loves the 7800 stuff. I love it too. 16, Sixth Doctor. We covered a game last week, Herzog Zwei. It's a shoot 'em up for the Mega Drive. And he said, yeah, this is a strange game because that term, Herzog Zwei, actually became an insult between him and his friends. I'm guessing this was in his college days. Yeah, you Herzog Zwei. It's strange, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I really hate that guy. He's a right Herzog Zwei. I looked it up. I put it in Google Translate. Herzog Zwei translate to Duke 2. Duke 2. Strange, isn't it? I don't know what Duke 1 was. There's not a game called Herzog, is there? Zwei is obviously 2. Got it. I'm learning. I'm catching on. 17, Jason Vogue. He's brought up an old question. Do we sell at retro shows? No! Never! We are never lumbering our stuff around for gaming markets or gaming shows. I'm afraid you will only ever be able to buy our stuff online. No, we're never doing any retro shows. Ever. Sorry. Move on. 18 boxed in. That's Andrew. See, I remembered. Andrew is boxed in. He said BMX Flyer. I showed it in that little show where I went through loads of different handhelds in a row. And he said BMX Flyer has to be the best in-game music on a handheld. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good. And funny enough, Retro Claire number 19, she says, similar to the same part of the show, Firefox F7, that music is haunting. Haunting. Let's just remind ourselves. I wouldn't say that is haunting, Claire. I wouldn't say it's haunting. Annoying. I think my parents would definitely say it's annoying. The Firefox F7 with its super stereo speakers was a particularly loud tabletop game. When I had it in the mid-80s, it got me in a lot of trouble. You could turn the sound off, but I never ever said that. I just kept, no, it's just loud, Dad. Dad, it's just loud. What can I do? I need to play it. It was my birthday present. I'm playing it. Number 20, Generation Pixel, is in Scotland. I'll stop saying that soon. He's only interested in one retro recipe. And that's Cookie on the Spectrum. Yes, absolutely. Cookie on the Spectrum. Shaking the old salt pot. Yeah, brilliant. He likes the comment. He likes the comments. Keep the comments. It's important. It's the main bit. Maybe that's the new. I should use that social tab and say which bit's best, the game stuff or the talking about the list or the comments. I don't know. But it'd be nice to know which bit's your best bit of the show. Are there people out there just fast forwarding past the comments to get straight to the games? I don't know. It'd be nice to know. His last bit, he said Thunderblade. He's got his own little comment on Thunderblade. Thunderblade, where the fun never starts. Well, that's true, but as we just discussed, it looked pretty good for a specky game. I was wrong. 21, keeping up the rear. Beesball, he was first in last week's list. He's last in this week's list. I don't know if that's got any relevance, but the last person last week did win. That was Generation Pixel, won last week from spot number 20. So yeah, maybe you got some luck. Which brings me to, yes, competition time! Yes, competition time. You are all in the competition. If you're new to the show, all you have to do is comment, just join the list and win a prize. And this week's prize is something new. Yes, Super Mario magnet set. Let's put that on there. Yes, you can cover your fridge in loads of Mario things and make like Mario. It's pretty awesome. There's 23 magnets in there. You've got the bomb, you've got the towers, you've got the platforms, you've got the stars, you've got the coins, you've got the Koopas. Brilliant. Yeah, nice brand new prize, still sealed. Oh, that's a nice prize, isn't it? Nice prize. And you can win with the aid of our friend. Cue the jingle.
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin.
Numbers are his game. Yeah, numbers are it. We've got power. We've got power. Let's go. We've got this at 21. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, Marvin. 3. It's number 3. And who is number 3? Not More Games with Nick Berry. It's a new winner. Yeah, new winner. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Marvin. And of course, that brings me to the next part of the show. Oh, hang on. More Games with Nick Berry. Just email that, confirm your address, and we will send that prize out to you. Postage free. Postage free. Tell your friends. Get everyone watching the show. You know what bit of the show it is now.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yes, what's new at Retro Games this week? Yes, and here's our weekly look at all the new stuff that's come to retrogames.co.uk for you to look at. Really hyping the site today, aren't I? Yeah, come on and buy stuff. Let's start now. Last week someone said we want more Saturn on the show. I forget who it was, but someone said it. Russ, it might be Russ. We got some Saturn in this week. Yay! So let's do some Saturn. I'm going to start with this horrible thing. I'm going to start with something horrible. It is this, the classic official, the official Sega Saturn wheel. Yeah, let's have a wraps it around the cord. What a thing this is. I remember when the Saturn was all new and fresh, it was all quite exciting. Oh, it's got a steering wheel, an official steering wheel. Something the PlayStation never had when it came out. But then you saw it and it was like this. For your Daytona, you play. It's nothing like what you need to play Daytona. It's like you're driving the Batmobile. It's a strange device. It's horrible, but we don't get them in that often, and it's in this week. It's cheap, 20 quid. 20 quid to you, mates. Solid plastic. No, it's got a metal base. It's got a metal. It's all about the bass. No treble. Okay, that's just kick us off there. Something big and lumpy. It is a Sega Saturn steering wheel. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Don't drop it. Get rid of it nicely. Thank you. Okay, let's talk Saturn. So we had some Saturn stuff this week. What about this one? Shell Shock.
A 5-man mercenary unit is operating out of the derelict state correctional facility on Jackson Island. Calling themselves the Wardens, they are uncompromisingly committed to combating terrorism, fighting oppression, and exposing corruption worldwide. In a world without justice, they are the last line of defense. They call me the man. I take care of their business.
Now, it was only when I started playing this to check it out for the show that I realised this had one of the most amazing intros of all time. Not because of the graphics, not because of the music, not because of the themes of it, basically just because it is the most long, ridiculously long, boring intro to a game I've ever seen. I'm actually making it far more exciting by talking over it. I should shut up and let it play for a bit. I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I mean, there's a lot of walking. There's a lot of very slow walking towards the stairs. I mean, this is... it's beyond me. This is the strangest intro to a game. Yeah, the guy is walking. He's walking towards that big plane thing. He's still not there though. He's still not got to the... Suddenly he's in there. He's in there, the cockpit's down. Good, move on. Right, we're in the cockpit. Looking mean. It's a tank, we've got it, it's a tank. Just keeping the peace. I even have to wait for him to open the doors. It's so mind-numbingly slow. It's like, oh, we can do these long intros. Let's do one. Why? By the way, even like, you know, I mean, look at this guy. It's unbelievable. It's got to be one of the longest intros in all of retro gaming. We're nearly there. Surely we're nearly there. Shell Shock, really awful cover design. Let me put this up. Just remember, I'm saying this is really pretty awful. Look at this. Shell Shock here. Got the spine there. Got the. It's not too bad condition. But look at these guys on the bottom. I mean, they're like the sort of people in. It's a game based on the people in the background of GTA, isn't it? It's the sort of people you race to run over. Very strange guy, bunch of guys. I don't know, is that Chris Lowe? That Chris Lowe out of the Pet Shop Boys, maybe. Anyway, check out Shell Shock.
What are you doing there? Get down! Way to go!
Yeah, it's a tank battle game. Let's just show you there. Yeah, there you go. There's the manual. There's the thing. Shell Shock on the Saturn. It's an unusual one. There's a lot of common games for the Saturn. That is a more unusual one. Let's carry on. What about this one? This is a good one. This is Wing Arms, quite a highly desirable shooter. And let's have a look. Yeah, so this has got a little bit of where it's been taped. It's been taped along the spine. You can see people didn't take care of Saturn stuff. Saturn's got to be the lumpiest, worst cared for games. This one hasn't got a manual. It's just got the disc there. Wing arms. But it's a decent shooter for the Saturn, and we all like shooters, don't we? Yes, Saturn. We could talk, have we really given enough time to how bad the cases for Saturn are? I mean, they look okay. They look all right. The spines look okay. It's nice to collect them, but they are usually damaged in some way, and the way the discs are held just left them susceptible to damage. So of all the consoles in all the world, why did you give me so many scratched discs, Sega Saturn? Yeah, it's the king of scratched discs, just because of the way the case was designed. So the next Sega console was obviously the Dreamcast. They took the case to the next extreme. Fragile, super fragile. What about this one? Now this is Virtua Fighter Remix. This is an advanced version of the original Virtua Fighter, but this is an unusual UK box, because usually it's in a card box. I'll put a picture up. In a card box with a separate square bit for a double CD case for the game and the free CG disc. That's computer graphics disc, which comes free with this version. But this is a regular case for Sega Saturn UK, which is unusual, and it's not greatly convenient. It hasn't got any second thing for the discs. It hasn't got a second. And you haven't got space to put that in a wallet inside this, so it's meant to just lie around inside. But it's unusual, isn't it? It's I've never seen. I don't think we've ever had this in this style case for the Saturn before. Not in an original. This is uniform with all the other Saturn releases, so it's unusual. Yeah, unusual. The remix version of Virtua Fighter. When I first saw Virtua Fighter running on the Saturn,
Fight 2, ready, go!
it blew my mind. That really was a groundbreaking game. One more, and that's this one. This is called Crime Wave. And this game is right up my alley because, I mean, it's a shame it's got a bit of a sticker mark there on the front. But, you know, I love these. So it's like pushed into that isometric view. Not GTA, it's more like APB, like catching the bad guys. And I love games that have got that little 3D cars racing around 3D streets. I think this looks brilliant. Long time since I played it, but I seem to remember it being really, really good fun. That is enough. Sega Saturn, what's next in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in
Okay,
the box?
let's back on the chair. Just helps me keep stuff a bit more secret squirrel for the pullout. Let's do some Commodore 64. And here's a classic for you. Here's a classic. Everyone loves this game. This pushed Defender of the Crown for the Commodore 64. This pushed strategy into a new realm. It wasn't boring moving things around a board. It was proper arcade mini games that had a real influence on the success or defeat of your armies. Yeah, this example, it's such a classic game, but this is in beautiful condition. It's cassette. It's a Commodore 64 cassette. Let's just open it up. It's a really, really nice one. This game is always squashed, but this one is not. And there you have, you've got the manual there, you've got the additional help card and 2 cassettes. Beautiful example of Defender of the Crown. Came out for loads of formats. CD-TV stings to my mind straight away, but Defender of the Crown 2, it came out for Game Boy. Yeah, Defender of the Crown, it had quite a decent life. Moving on, and here's one. We all go on about Daley Thompson. We've covered a lot of track and field games lately, but this is Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge, the game that nobody bought. Daley Thompson wasn't flavour of the month anymore, and while we all love Decathlon, Super Test had let us down a bit. But this is the third Daley Thompson game, Olympic Challenge, and it was actually pretty good. Really good weightlifting, I seem to remember. Let's have a look. This is a very lovely box because it's got lots of stuff in it. So you've got your manual. But this is the reason I brought this out. It's got 1988 catalogue. We'll come back to that in a minute for you catalogue fans. It's got the 2 cassettes there. There's a audio exclusive cassette. The Challenge. How does that go? Now this is the fold-outs chart. It's pretty major. I mean, you don't get this very often in the set, so I thought I'd go. Yeah, look at that. That's one massive wall chart. Thanks for that, Daley. You know, we got to this is released at that point where freebies meant more than the content of the game. And it's absolutely mint condition. But let's come back to that catalogue. 1988 Ocean catalogue. You've got the Platoon, you've got your match date. Not any rare ones in here particularly. Rambo 3. You've got Combat School, Combat, Operation Wolf. Different graphic that to the actual front of the game. Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge.
I didn't get that.
Oh, I
Did
didn't
you
get
try again?
No. Guts. That's a Costapania game, isn't it? I think it is. Robocop, of course, legendary, say the #1 for a whole year, Robocop. Firefly, that's another Costapania game, isn't it? Oh, shut up! I'm just talking to Siri. I shouldn't say that because I reckon if I say the SIRI word, all your phones and stuff will start getting cross. Champions, anything live ammo, compilations, Magnificent 7, Target Renegade, Vindicators, it's quite rare. Arkanoid 2. Salamander, Victory Road. Now that is a rare one. That is a rare one. Beautiful. I love all these glossy. Gorilla. That is a really rare one. SNK game on the Commodore 64. Typhoon, Konami Collection, and there's a little chart at the back. All the releases and when they were coming out and what formats they were coming out for. Brilliant. Anyway, lovely catalogue. A game that most people just ignore, but if you like all those sports games like me, it's good fun. Carrying on, right, more Commodore 64. Now, we had this on the show, Mission Impossible. Impossible Mission, wait a minute, Impossible Mission. The Epix game, Killing My Robots.
Destroying my robot.
Just, it actually came in and we only showed it recently because someone mentioned the brilliant sounds on there, and you've got a separate manual there, top secret manual. And it is a legendary game for the Commodore 64. If you're a proper C64 collector, there's no way you shouldn't have this in your collection. It's one of those defining games of the era that really captured an atmosphere. There's an atmosphere. It goes beyond graphics and sound. It actually feels like
What a plum.
a mood. It feels like a mood. You play that game, it puts you in a certain kind of mood. And I don't know why that works, but it does. What else have we got? More Commodore? More Commodore? I don't know. Is there more? There is more Commodore. Excuse me, boys. Excuse me. And ladies. Just checking out the rest of the Commodore. Pit Stop. Oh, that took a long time. There's a lot of stuff in the box today. Pit Stop 2. Pit Stop 2 often ignored. There was a Pit Stop 1 as well. Epix's racing game. It's their attempt at pole position, really. Very nice. Got the manual there, separate manual. Very nice. Pit Stop 2. Carrying on, Commodore 64, we have Back to the Future. It's everyone's favourite film, Back to the Future, but this is really rare now. The first game in the series, a lot harder to find than the Image Works Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3. Very nice example, I believe. Yeah, it folds out there, folds out, you've got your screenshots. I can't see the label. Yeah, you can see the label now. Back to the Future. Now, we showed the NES game recently because we had the NES cartridge of Back to the Future, only released in the USA. I think the Commodore 64 game's better than the NES game. I'm right, aren't I? It is. It's better. Okay, carrying on. What's in the box? What about this? Now, this is another Commodore 64 game. This game is called Election. I know what you're thinking. That sounds very dry. Yeah, it does. It's a really unusual game where you try and get elected into number 10 and become the Prime Minister of the country. And there is lots of games like that. 1984, the Election game. There's quite a few of games like that. But they're usually strategy games, and this is an arcade game. Check it out. That's right, so it's an arcade game where you canvas people by moving around and getting strange comments. It's very, very odd. You can play Paul Daniels. Yeah, he's called Daniel Pauls in this game. But yeah, it's very, very odd. Rediscover the darker side of your personality as you fight off the determined and dirty opposition to become Prime Minister and win the election. It's just bizarre that this is an arcade game. All the fun of politics, smear, scandal and crisis without the boring speeches. Weird. No wonder it's so rare. Who the heck would have gone and bought an election game that's not strategy? It's an arcade game. It's got a separate manual here. It's called the Game Manifesto. And there's a special caveat here. The characteristics and personalities ascribed to the characters in this game are for the purposes of the game only, and in no way held out to represent the characteristics and personalities of any person living or dead. Any similarity is purely coincidental. I bring your attention there to Daniel Paul. Just coincidental. We didn't even know there was someone called Paul Daniels. It's not coincidence. It's not that. I mean, what, matcha? That's coincidence that she looks like that. Yeah, I don't think that would have stood up in court. Richard Branson, there's a Virgin game. Any more Commodore? One more, and that's this. Jack the Ripper's back. Yes, a bit of horror, 18 rated adventure. Just thought I'd mention it. It's very popular because it's got these nasty graphics on the back. To try and get it that 18 rating, they just put horrible graphics, nasty blood and gore that they've digitised off of an X-rated video, slot it into this game and get that 18 rating. Yes, the kids are desperate for it now because they can't have it. It's like when they turn the water off, do repairs, and you're desperate for a drink. It's like that, but in games. Right, let's carry on. Another format. What shall we do? Let's do Spectrum! Yes, Spectrum. Let's get the 8-bit out of the way. Let's start with this. This is a Mike Singleton game. You know the guy who wrote Lords of Midnight? Throne of Fire, and it used massive graphics. Now, you may have noticed the reason this is special is it's sealed in a blister pack. It is sealed, and you don't find many sealed Spectrum games like this. Very nice, big chunky graphics. Throne of Fire, brand new and sealed. That's just to get us warmed up. What about this? It's a game that not many people know. Camelot Warriors.
Now, excuse me if I'm wrong, but that's not really a walk, is it? Either he's pooed his pants and he's walking like that because of that, or it's a mince. It's definitely a mince. He got changed into a frog here, but the frog moves strangely too. I mean, have you ever seen a frog walk along like it's pooed its pants? It's not even wearing pants. Yeah. The jump. Look at the jump. Bit of sword play. But look at the jump. I'll do one more jump. That is a weird jump.
Camelot Warriors by Areola Soft. Always makes me think of nipples, Areola Soft. I don't know why. Well, I think I do know why. Yeah, much forgotten about. A very rare game. And this, for example, is in lovely condition this week. And have a look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this just got rarer. I didn't spot this. I hope they team did. Screenshot challenge. What is this screen taken from? And there is a scratch card. This is an official Areola Soft scratch card. What is that game? I mean, I should know that game. It's going to be on the Areola Soft label. It looks familiar. Is it Archon 2? No. Is it Seven Cities of Gold? I don't think so. Carry On Cleo. They didn't make a game of that, did they? Skyfox. I don't think it's Skyfox. Scarabaeus. I'd say maybe it's Scarabaeus. It's got loads. It's a special prize draw. Fill it in, claim your prize. You could win an Amstrad 6128, bad luck, an Atari 130XE, or a Spectrum 128. That's good prizes. I don't think that will be valid anymore. But wow, that is a really nice bonus. Good. Let's carry on. Someone mentioned this the other day, so it came in stock this week. I put it up. Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Yes, we do know what it is. It's the sequel to Miner 2049er. Platform action game. Classic. Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Has it got the separate manual? Yes, of course it has. It's only quality stuff here, mate. Beautiful. I love clam cases when they click shut like that. I'll do it one more time for you guys. You ready? You ready for the click? Okay, one more. Oh, beautiful. That's locked tight. Locked tight. Love it. Here's a game that I loved on the Spectrum when I was young. Stagecoach. I bought this at the time. I was very, very excited about the little graphics of the Stagecoach.
Here we have yet another example of how the memory mutates over time. This game is mainly about trying to get on this horse. And it throws me... I'm not hurt. I'm on a cactus. That doesn't seem to matter. I walked straight through the cactus there. You have to be very gentle and try and coax the terrible graphics of the horse. But you have to try and coax yourself onto the horse so that you can ride it and take the stagecoach. It takes a lot of... And as soon as you get on, it just throws you off again. And runs back to the edge of the screen. It is more than irritating. Don't worry, through the cactus. Nothing doesn't hurt me. Doesn't hurt me compared to the fall. And you finally get on the horse. You chase the stagecoach, and he throws you off anyway. I'm now going to go and massacre the horse.
Maybe not quite as exciting as I remember. Maybe not quite as nice, but it's got that lovely... Looks like a Western movie, doesn't it? It's got that Saturday afternoon feel about it. Yeah, it's a bit of a split case, but that is really nice game. Stagecoach for the Spectrum. Cheap. It's cheap as chips. What else we got for Spectrum? What about this? Going back to another movie game. Charlie Chaplin. Yes. They'll make a licensed game of anything. Yeah, Charlie Chaplin. Okay, it's based on. I mean, I guess with colour clash, of basing it on a black and white movie kind of guy. It's a good sense. And look, this is. Oh yeah, we've got. What's this? It's just the instructions, Chase. Don't get so excited. But yeah, it's got Charlie on the. It folds out nice. It's nice. It's in lovely condition. It's got lovely condition because nobody wanted to play it. Got another little insert here that is some other language stuff. Charlie Chaplin on the Spectrum, perfect for all you guys who want to relive the silent movie era. Spectrum did have sound, it maybe would have bbeen better on the ZX81 though. Yeah. Anyway, moving on, hard driving. Now why would he pick hard driving for the Spectrum? I always think there's a bit of a sus name for a game. Hard driving. Driving hard. It's rude. It sounds rude. Hard driving. the reason why it was called hard driving, because it was really, really hard to play. In the arcades you had the full gear stick, you had clutch, you had all the controls, so it was like driving a real car. It was, you know, aimed as a proper driving simulator, so it's very, very slow. But then when it came out on console formats, it was still very, very slow and lumpy. But this has the I'm a hard driver window sticker. Now, if ever you see a car, it's going to be an old Vauxhall Chevette with that in the back window. Wouldn't you love to see that on the road? I'm a hard driver. Brilliant to see that window sticker in that. It's only in a percentage of these games, and it's just nice when it is there. I'm a hard driver. I don't know. Moving on. What about this? Something arcadey. Ninja Spirit. Got a lot of Spectrum today, hasn't he?
Converted from the Irene coin-op, it's incredibly hard to see what's going on. For some reason the sprites have a border. Even when the levels clear up a bit, they've still got this big thick white border around the characters. It blurs them into the background. Not the best graphic technique. This is a bit more arcade fun. Here we get to the big boss. Here's the big boss. He looks pretty menacing. Yeah. Spectrum does coin-ops.
Yeah, you can play this on PC Engine. Ninja Spirit's quite rare on PC Engine. What's the Spectrum? Yeah, and we'll just have a little look inside. We've got like the warranty card, we've got the cassette, we've got the player's guide. Beautiful. Oh, and a warning sheet. Don't pirate this game. Don't pirate it. This disc will give you hours of fun. This disc could give you 6 months in prison. If you know anybody who went to prison for copying games in the 1980s, I'd love to hear from you. Now that is a claim to fame. I went to prison for copying a tape. It sounds kind of funny now, doesn't it? It sounds funny, you know, when you can download anything for free all the time from anywhere. Here's a rare game. This is Casey Jones. It's by Blaby. It's by Blaby, but are Blaby any good? This is the thing. What's Casey Jones look like?
Oh dear. It's a moon buggy game. With a train. It's got a bit of flicker to it. That's authentic.
It's by Blaby. That's the thing, isn't it? They're very rare games, and you can kind of see why. They're sold from their shop. There's not these games out of they've got some guy coding in the back of their shop putting these games out. Casey Jones, really nice clam case game though, very rare. And obviously. They got a lot of games out. They rushed them out a bit, didn't they? Got them out. What about this one? Last Spectrum game. And it's a game that you might think is pretty mediocre and boring. It's called Gladiator. And it's a precursor maybe to the later Barbarian games. You know, Barbarian with Maria Whittaker. Don't put her up there. Gladiator. So it's a fighting game. It's a very early fighting game on the Spectrum. By Dumark.
Choose your weapon first. And then, unlike most fighting games, it's not so bogged down with moves. It's more like waggling some sticks at the other person. Yeah, that's it. Oh, satisfying waggle. Yeah. Oh, a bit more waggling. Oh, yeah. It's different, isn't it? It's different. Waggling with forks, toasting forks, and he's dead. He's dead. I've won. Yes.
And I think it's got some really good stuff to say. To become the greatest gladiator of all time, Mercius Messina must fight your way to freedom, otherwise death comes quickly. Win your own limited edition certificate of freedom and the chance to win the ultimate prize, a unique gladiator's sword commissioned from Wilkinson's Sword. Yeah, the Razor people. They made a special prize. I'd love to. Who won that? Someone's got the Wilkinson Sword, Gladiator Sword from the Spectrum game. Has it got 4 blades? Can it get really close? Don't shave much, you can tell. Anyway, it's got a red tape. It's got a red tape. The manual, it's a beautiful example actually, all tucked up in the back. No, even though it's protruding a little bit on the inlay, it is not damaged, which is really nice. The thumbs up meant I was the Emperor's champion. Gladiators! I had to do that. I had to do it. I had to. Moving on, we're done with Spectrum. Let's go to another computer format. And that is VIC-20. Yeah, we've got a couple of VIC-20 games, unusual ones. These are new homebrew style games. This is Cheese and Onion. Yes, and they're pushing the old Vic, and as you can see, it comes in a beautiful transparent cartridge, little slide on open case, proper authentic style to it. Cheese and Onion there, and there's not the only one. There's another one. It's this, the penultimate cartridge. It's got loads of games on it. Brilliant, and again, it's got like a button on it. It does loads of stuff. Let's just tell you what it's got. The bottom of the cartridge. It's got a menu that comes up. It contains a large number of games that will run directly from the cartridge, including titles from the future, such as Cheese and Onion. It's got Cheese and Onion on it, Pentagorat and Rodman. Yeah, I love all this stuff. It's like an authentic item from the future. You know, if you could send this back to the past, if you could send this back to 1981, you'd have sold millions of them. But now you might sell a few. A couple, but lovely things. And talking of repros, let's go over to the NES. Yes, Nintendo, and that's because this came in this week, and this is a retro bit new game for NES. It's called the All-Star Retro Bit Collection, and you're thinking that doesn't look like a NES game. Well, it doesn't yet, but let me open the box. Oh, it's got a nice little case there. It's a beautiful condition, and it's a compilation of Data East coin-ops. So, what's it got there? It's got Pool, it's got Burger Time, of course. It's got a couple of badges. One says Hug It Out, and there's one of the Burger Time man. Lots of freebies and new stuff, and there we have it. And that is not an official Nintendo cartridge, as you can tell. But it is PAL and NTSC, so you can play this on any NES. It's lovely. And here we have the manual. I'll show you the manual there. Okay, so we've got side pocket. Oh yeah, I knew what that was. Side pocket, Bad Dudes versus Last Ninja. No, Bad Dudes. Burger Time. Buggy Popper. Unfortunate name, Buggy Popper. And one more. Ring King. Yeah, so it's a nice compilation of games that you can't get individually for the NES. Just pop this back in the box. Actually, I like the little badge pack because that's the alternative to having a polystyrene, isn't it? The polystyrene in a standard NES box. No, just have a little bit of plastic with a couple of badges in it. That's better. Getting more value there. More value. Not very expensive. This not very expensive. Not very rare. I think they still put it in production. I think you still buy it new. But it is retro, so it's on the site this week. What else? More NES stuff? Yeah, I think there is. Let's have a look. What about this? Dragon Spirit.
Now, Dragon Spirit's an interesting shooter because you're in control of a dragon, so rather than a spaceship, when you upgrade and get better weapons, you get more heads on your dragon. So here we've got 2 heads, and what about this? 3 heads on my dragon.
Dragon Spirit. We had Ninja Spirit, now we've got Dragon Spirit with the manual, only released in the USA. Ninja Spirit, and one more NES game, and it's one that we all know, and that is Zelda, and it's a UK one. ZLFRA code, but that is the UK release. The UK and France had the same code. And as you can see, it's shiny. It's shiny, but there's a little bit of discoloration, just a little bit. Sometimes these are like new, sometimes they're a little bit, just a few little, you can see around this. You can see the black bits. But yeah, it's an original Zelda for the NES. It's important, isn't it? It's important to have it. I just realised the Mr. Spectrum game. I can't do that music again. Oh! For one game. Alright. Rallycross. Now this was a game by Anko that I really liked. I had it on the Spectrum. I also got it again. I think it came out for the Amiga as well. And it's it's me and these top-down racing games. It was really, really cool. Is it cool to look at now?
And now this is a game that proves how far we've come with audio for racing games. Check this engine sound. Yes, yes, this is the engine sound. It doesn't change much. I think I might have tinnitus.
Yes, it's still cool. It's got that, like, Anko didn't release many nice things, did they? They released Kick-Off, a big hit, but most of their games were a bit tough to enjoy. Tough to enjoy. But Rallycross, that was a great game. It's a good game, multiplayer. And I do love those top-down racing games. I know they're simple, really. If you took away the theme of them, and if it was just blocks moving around the screen, you say this is absolute rubbish. But because it's cars, because they're little graphics of cars, I find it enjoyable. I don't know. Yeah, the actual, what you're doing, just moving something around a maze, aren't you, really? On the Super Sprint and all those. You're just moving something around a maze. But because it's little cars, it feels like it's a proper game. I don't want them games broken down to their base parts. I shouldn't do it to myself. I'm spoiling my own magic. What about Nintendo 64? Yeah, Nintendo 64. And what about this? Paperboy. One of my all-time favourite coin-ops. Paperboy on the N64.
Okay, now before we get into the N64 version, any excuse to put the real coin-up version up. One of my all-time favourite games. So basically you drive down the street delivering papers, smashing up houses of people who don't subscribe to your paper, and then hopefully they join and subscribe for the next day. But great fun. Now, hold on to your breath. Is the N64 version. I mean, technically you are still delivering things. It looks like so many other N64 games. It looks nothing like Paperboy.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? They're trying to push it in a slightly, make it a bit more a bigger game, but yeah, it doesn't quite work. I prefer really an authentic version of a coin-op, but it's a very rare game now for N64. And here's another rare game for N64, and that is Track and Field 2000, USA only. Show this one.
I might dwell on this a bit. Classic track and field action, enhanced with the expansion pack. Not many games actually use it. There's so many events on this version for the N64. Probably the last great Konami version of track and field. It's the classic events I love best. Here we go. On the long jump, let's do a long jump. I think the graphics are pretty decent, aren't they? They're still standing up. Looking good. Oh, yeah, it's a long one. It is a long one. I was going to get excited. It's a world record. Yes. There's lots of unusual events here, like parallel bars, which is a bit like Dance Dance Revolution, where you put in your arrow keys to do your special moves. It's good fun. Pole vault, the old classic pole vault. Slow-mo when it goes up. Yeah, lovely. Whack. Yeah, a classic. Got the British guy doing shot put. Sort of like that anticipation of watching that shot land on the field. Here it goes. Look at it spinning through the air. Really good. Amazing. Hurdles, of course. Classic hurdles. But the legendary event has to be the javelin. Here we go. Oh, looks good. Yep, it's looking good. This is going to be a long one. Here we go. Oh, tense. Yes! Yes!
How much track and field can we show in one episode? Yeah, it's got a little bit of label damage, sadly, on there. But yeah, great games, track and field, multiplayer. You're not going to get me slagging off any track and field games, even if they're for the Commodore 16. I love it. A couple of boxed games now. These are USA. I've talked about this game before. Diddy Kong Racing. American one. American games, for some reason, American games now are far, far more collectible and valuable than UK PAL. I don't know why. It's the same story on Mega Drive, NES, DS, Game Boy, N64, SNES. The US games are all going. Oh, that must be where the collectors are. That's where the big spending collectors are all in America. And oh, get it out, Chase. And they want the American versions, which is understandable. But I would argue that actually PAL region are rarer, especially the ones that are split up for Scandinavia or for Europe, for Germany or France. He's got all the leaflets. It's lovely condition, perfect inside. Very nice example. Diddy Kong Racing. It's better than Mario Kart. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with it. One more Mario. One more Nintendo 64 game, and that is Mischief Makers. Yeah, again, USA. USA boxed. Let's get that out. Mischief Makers, beautiful game. Yeah, it's in good shape. Again, highly rated, quite rare now. And then we have a cartridge, and we have a beautiful manual. Look at that manual, and all the gumph, additional gumphs. We've got loads of gumphs in this one. Yeah, lovely. Mischief Makers on the N64. We're covering a lot of formats today, aren't we? What have we got left? Well, there's another Commodore 64 game. And the reason I picked it is because it also came up in the comments recently. And it's this game. It's Super Sunday by Nexus. And do you remember I said about their bulletproof cases? Aren't they ridiculous? I mean, they're like no other case for any game ever. This is, I'll just show you, this slides off like a lock. And then it opens like that, and you've got your manual, and there's the cassette underneath the manual. It looks like a military grade, I don't know, a cigarette case. I don't really know what it is. It's just the most crazy Nexus spin-off label of Beyond. I said this before, Telecom Soft based. Super Sun, this is an American game. American football didn't sell hardly any because, again, British people didn't buy much American football games. And this is a USA game anyway. But it's got a love. I mean, this is the only game from Nexus in diarrhea brown. It looks like chocolate, a little bit like chocolate. If you like your chocolate, diarrhea brown. Okay, not much left in the box. What about this? It's for Commodore again. And these are very unusual. These are Commodore official paddles. Commodore paddles. They are standard joystick cable, but yeah, look at these. Really chunky. They're very much the style of the Commodore Plus 4 joystick. But they have got a standard joystick adapter, so they're not for Commodore 16, they're definitely for Commodore 64. I have no idea what games use these paddles. I'm guessing it's got to be something first party that came out that used the paddles, but they are very rare and in lovely condition. And if you've got a Commodore collection, you want to keep everything, you want everything, you've really got to have the Commodore. What, you've got a Commodore 64 and you don't have the paddles? Surely not. Call yourself a retro gamer. Come on, sort yourself out. They're for sale, don't worry. Something else unusual this week, well, not that unusual, we don't get many anymore, and that is a Nintendo Game & Watch. Yes, it is Mario Cement Factory. It's a nice one, it's fully working, but as you can see, it has got a red battery cover. One of my favourite games to play. I'm not going to play it today. I could show you it working, but it's in lovely condition otherwise. Just that bright, it looks like a Mickey Mouse one, isn't it? It's a Mickey, not just like, oh, that's a bit Mickey Mouse. No, the Mickey Mouse single screen game is red, so it looks like it's got mixed up at some point with a Mickey Mouse battery cover. But anyway, it's still a Game & Watch, and we don't get many of them on the site. And the last thing in the box, and it's a rare thing, it's an unusual thing, and you're thinking, oh good, he saved the best till last. It's in some sort of very army based pack. Let's open it up. Oh, excuse me. And that is this. And you're thinking, what? It's a Game Boy. Yeah, it's a Game Boy in a really lovely case. And the reason it's been put in that lovely case is because it has been modified. It's been modified. It has got a replacement screen. It's lovely. It's very standard. It's got Tetris in it. It takes batteries, as you know. It's just in a really lovely condition. Original DMG 001 Game Boy. Now let's turn it on and show you though. Oh, what? Backlit? Yes, backlit, new screen. Look how clear that is. Can you imagine? I'll just start it up just to give you the full feels. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that amazing to play those original cartridges in a really good quality backlit screen? Start, Jay, start. You can play Tetris live. I mean, there's one game that everyone can play, it's Tetris, surely. You know, I can't ruin this. I don't even need to show you, but I just want to show you the quality of the screen. Brilliant. I must say, I'm looking at the camera monitor and not actually I'm trying to give myself an excuse for not even being able to play Tetris. It's been a long time since I played anything on the show. Isn't this what you're meant to do? No? He's fucking about. He knows how to play Tetris. But yeah, what a beautiful, lovely thing. What a lovely device to end the show on. Another week done. You made it. Well done. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please come buy stuff off the site. Please come sell me your collections. Just send us an email, sales@retrogames.co.uk. if you've got anything you want to get rid of, if you want to trade stuff, if you want to sell stuff, if you want to just tell me some amazing nuggets of information that you want me to relay on the show, just do it. Just do it. You don't have to do it in a comment. You can email me if you prefer. Thanks for watching, Retro Gamers. Until next week!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
Oh! The blocks fit together!